Well, the big question that we're asking our viewers, will the Supreme Court's recognition of the third gender actually help in the integration? And will it take more than a Supreme Court ruling for us to accept the Rainbow Society? Do share your views with News9. The numbers are flashing on your television screens, and we have a caller joining us. We have Manju, who joins us from Srinivaspuram. Yes, Manju, what do you have to say?
Hello.
Hedi Manju.
Hello.
Hedi.
Hello, madam. Namaste.
Namaste. ಮಂಜು ಅವರು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಟೆಲಿವಿಷನ್ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತೀರಾ?
ಈ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಜೆಂಡರ್ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗಲಿ, ಈ ವೀಸಾ ಆಗಲಿ, ಪಾಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಏನೇ ಆಗಲಿ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಮೇಡಮ್. ನಾನು ಬಂದು ಆಚೆ ಮಾತಾಡೋದು.
ಹೇಳಿ.
ಏನಿಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್, ಇವ್ರಿಗೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದರಲ್ಲೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಜೆಂಡರ್. ಇವ್ರು ಓಟ್ ಹಾಕೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಯಾರೇನು ಗೆಲ್ಲೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಸೋಲೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವ್ರಿಗೂ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಎಲ್ಲದರಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಆಗಲಿ, ಅಪ್ಲಿಕೇಶನ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇವ್ರಿಗೂ ಒಂದು ಅದರ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನೋ ಒಂದು ನಾವು ಮಾಡಿ ಇಟ್ಟಿರ್ಬೇಕು ಮೇಡಮ್, ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ಇವ್ರು ಎಲ್ಲದರಲ್ಲಿ ಮುಂದುವರಿಬೇಕಂತ ನಮ್ಮಿದು.
ಓಕೆ, ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಮಂಜು ಅವರೇ, ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆ ನಿಮ್ಮದು ವ್ಯೂಸ್ನ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ. ವೆಲ್ ಮಂಜು, ಅಟ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ positive and the negative thing for all, but we will take all your views too. You can call in and share your thoughts about the Supreme Court's judgment, and you can also tell us as to whether it should end, whether just a Supreme Court ruling will be enough. More needs to change, and it needs to change from the grassroots level. And the most important aspect that can be pointed out from this judgment is the public toilet aspect. The Supreme Court has taken note of the fact that you all do not have enough places for enough structures that will support your day-to-day life.
Yes, that's the problem with most of us. It could be female to male or male to female transgenders. In that, especially hijras and people who look very feminine. Yeah, so it was very difficult to access any public spaces. It could be public toilet, it could be public spaces like cinema halls, parks, bus stands, many things. You know, many spaces very particularly.
Why cinema halls? Why does it?
See, people like man and women can easily enter. When we go to cinema hall, people think that we have come to do sex work there. And if you keep watching cinema hall, of course the hands will come in the in the dark place for pinching our private parts. So people force you to have sex. It happened last week. It happened to my friend Rakshita. So many people face such kind of harassment in the public and public spaces. But coming specifically to public toilets, most of us, including me and Nisha, we have faced it. No, you are looking like a boy and you are looking like a man. You should not enter into the female's toilet. Then we challenge. Illappa ನಾವು ಬರ್ತೀವಿ, ನಮಗೆ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಆಗಿದೆ, ನಾವು ಹೆಣ್ಮಕ್ಳು ಅಂತ ಪರಿಗಣಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತೀವಿ. In the same time, some other person interview and say, ಇಲ್ಲ ಈ ಮೇಡಮ್ ಟಿವಿಲಿ ಬಂದಿದ್ರೆ ಬಿಡ್ರಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ. So like a person with having such small recognition and having that space, just imagine a person who is always on the street doing sex work and begging. So what would be their situation when it's come to housing, when it's come to public spaces, access to public spaces? So these are the prior issues where we need to address it. But now the Supreme Court guidance clearly speaks about having a separate toilet for the whole gender minority community. It's a good move, yeah. But still, within the community who feels that they are female, they should go for female toilet. Within the community who feels that they are male, they should go for male's toilet. Within the community who feels that they are transgender or third gender, they should go for the third gender toilet.
Right. And also we understand that now much is being said about how the society should grow up and should actually go ahead and accept you as the third gender. But at the same time, is the community too willing to come out? Because of the kind of atrocities that you all have been facing over the years, you all are forced into begging, you all are forced into prostitution. But now are you all actually willing to come out, and are you all actually willing to go ahead and convince people that you all are normal too? You know, will this...
They are coming out also. A lot has changed in the last 10 years itself, you know. Already a lot of transgenders, you know, they want to work in different places. It's also good that actually the High Court of Karnataka gave a job to another transgender person, the first High Court to do it, you know, in India. And I wish the government does that, you know, in all the departments. And then we also have an NGO which doesn't work on sexuality issue, that works on tourism issue, called Equations. They gave a job to one transgender, you know, she's working there. And now actually one company is coming forward. Hopefully in the next 1-2 months time, 1 or 2 people will get a job in this IT industry company, you know. And more people want to actually, because people don't like doing sex work and begging. Most people don't like. They don't have choice. There are people who are graduates, who have done master's degree, begging and doing sex work.
So what about employment? Now you've taken many into Sangama, you've taken many into Aneka. So what about employment opportunities for those individuals?
There are very few. I think government has to take extra efforts now, and hopefully with this reservation coming in, I hope they put the reservation not as part of a larger group. I wish they don't merge it with other
Isn't
groups.
it quite odd in a country like ours where we've had a history of accepting the third gender, history of having them along with our traditions, the customs, they've been part of it. But suddenly India became very, very cold towards the gender. What do you
See
think?
what happened is, if you have Indian culture, if you look at whether it is Islamic or Hindu or non-religious, it always accepted transgenders.
Right.
But when the British came in, they criminalized transgenders. They brought in an act that was called Criminal Tribes Act. You might have heard. Few communities, Adivasis and Dalits, were branded criminal, and they are not supposed to move from one place to other. They are not supposed to own property. Lot of restrictions on them. But that act also included hijras. It said Criminal Tribes and Eunuchs Act, which meant that by being a transgender, you are a criminal.
And many fail to realize that it
Yes.
is because of a
Yeah.
medical issue. It
Yeah.
is a medical aspect.
It is a psychological thing. They are like that. And we got rid of Criminal Tribes Act. And even today, a lot of criminal tribes like Bedia and other tribes still face the tag of criminality. Everybody looks at them as criminals even today. And the same thing continued with the transgenders as well. It is the British who brought in this law that blanketly said that all the transgenders are criminals.
So before the British came in, our country was a lot more open
Yes,
and
much
accepting.
more open, more accepting. We had more space culturally and otherwise.
Right. We have a caller joining us over the phone line. We have Jayant who joins us from Jayanagar. Yes, Jayant, what do you have to say?
I would like to say that this indeed is a very good thing that the Supreme Court has recognized them as a third gender. But then again, the main problem is the society accepting it. So the main question is not if Supreme Court is accepting them as third gender or not. We as a society, are we ready to accept them? What can we do to make the society accept is the bigger question, I would like to say.
Absolutely, without a doubt. Thank you, Jayant, for speaking to us and sharing your thoughts with us. The bigger question is whether...
In fact, I have an answer to Jayant, because Supreme Court gave us a great verdict, and Supreme Court also tells the government to do public education, large scale, to change society. And it is a responsibility of all of us, Jayant, us, and every social organization, every trade union, every political organization, everybody, all of us should join hands, to say that implement Supreme Court judgment.
So if not change the minds of people, at least it will make people rethink.
Yes.
This judgment will go on to tell people maybe it's not wrong. What you're thinking is probably wrong. Maybe they're not abnormal like how you've been thinking all these years, so rethink that. So do you think change will be brought in from that aspect? That people will be forced to rethink?
Yes,
or
definitely. When a court says actually something, it does have its impact. It does legitimize something. And also a lot of opposition to transgenders come out of complete lack of understanding. People don't understand it. Many people...
And also, as a community, you'll face a lot of atrocities from the machinery, the state machinery itself. Many of you all complain that the police harass you all. Wherever you all go, you are harassed by the police officials. The government officials harass you all. You are not provided with the basic amenities, the facilities, the basic rights that any human being deserves in any country. So do you think that will be lessened, or it will take much more?
Already is lessened to some level in Bangalore and few other places, where the community is more organized, where we started questioning, where we started filing cases against police brutality, or where we started, going out and talking publicly. And media was greatly helpful. And of course, in the recent past, the Legal Service Authority and the judiciary was very supportive. Things have changed in Bangalore, but things haven't changed in Mangalore. Things haven't changed in Hassan. Things haven't changed maybe in Udupi.
So what makes Bangalore so different?
Because Bangalore, the community is getting organized for the last 10 years. For the 10 years, people have been talking about themselves. They are saying what they are. And for the last 10 years, we have been coming out, through public programs, dance programs, different discussions, where the awareness is very high. Society changes also when there's awareness. Small towns it didn't happen, And the coastal areas, it didn't happen. Of course, coastal areas, we have a big problem. Not only for us, but even for women, it is not safe, in Mangalore, So you have to think 20 times if you are going out with your own brother, So it's that kind of situation. It's also that there's a special difficulty in the coastal area and in Malnad, there's a difficulty. But things will change.
Okay, you're confident that
Yes.
things will change.
Yeah.
And in the future, how exactly, with this verdict in hand, now you have the legal aspect to question people, the legal aspect to show people that what you've been telling them is not wrong, the fact that you're telling them that it is normal, we are all normal, accept us the way we are without trying to change us or without trying to shun us. You have the legal authority, the legal stamp of the Supreme Court. So how do you plan to see the change, and what kind of a change do you want to see in the society?
One is that, as I mentioned in the beginning, that the Supreme Court judgment is an advocacy tool that we can use it to all the sections, which includes your family, includes your neighbors, or wherever you are facing that discrimination, that rejection. Yes, you can quote directly to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court has guided like this, so then who are you to discriminate me?
Absolutely.
So based on that self-esteem, increasing my self-esteem, my self-confidence, we can definitely question that. In the meantime, we also have Karnataka State Legal Services Authority, where we do also have District Legal Service Authorities as the Taluka Legal Service Authority. When a person has faced such a discrimination or rejection or any kind of violence, they should go to the Taluka or district or the state. They can definitely go directly to the court and lodge a complaint against them. So one thing is that, as Manohar was mentioning in the context of Supreme Court's verdict, about the social awareness, public programs, I think that should be focused by the government of Karnataka. If that is done, I think the amount of discrimination will be coming down and down. It also mentioning to the past 15 years and present, see the huge amount of change. The political parties are discussing, judiciary discussing, media is discussing, execution is. People are open to know the issues of sexuality and gender. Like, why you are becoming like this? What are your problems? Like 4 years ago, the officials were maintaining distance from the community. When we say, sir, namge government order copy pass aage, they have to implement madi. Oh, please stand there itself. But now, please come, madam. Please sit. You want to have some juice, coffee? See the amount of attitude people are changing in that way. But that is only happening in the cities like Chennai, Bangalore, Delhi, and Mumbai. And if you go back to other talukas or villages, it's lack of understanding. So in that area, the government should bring up some sort of programs in favor of this gender minority community. Of course, as I mentioned, there are many organizations working for the rights, for the benefits of the whole community, like Sangama, Sexual Rights Forum, Samara organizations. I think through that organization, which are committed to the community. So let's go with that. So please call for a meeting. We are here to support and be part of this move.